Hey everyone, so I just posted up that picture of Lucy and Oso. We were on our walk today and came across this cat, right? It just came out of nowhere. And you know, that is definitely something Lucy struggles with. She doesn't necessarily go after the cat, but she definitely just becomes very heightened up, makes a bunch of noise, lots of whining. She just can't control herself around the cat. Like she can, but she can't, right? It's like she's holding back so much that it comes out. So this morning before I left the apartment, I just grabbed some liver treats. You know, the dogs have worked for their food for a long time, you know, and now they're on this raw diet here. So it's a little harder to transport, right? Or like doing that kind of situation. But anyways, all the food work though has made treats and things very valuable to the dog. So I can pack those, and it's like when those are there, like I got their attention. So this is definitely why we stress the importance of working your dogs for their daily meals, because it helps to actually bring value to the liver treats, salmon, you know, those treats, the dessert, you know, when your dog is just doing stuff for their meals, right? So I packed some of these things up before we left, you know, just was like, yeah, you know, gonna reward them for things, you know. And so as we're finishing our walk, we're coming up the street and there's this cat just off to the driveway, like you can see in the picture there. And usually the cats might just run off. But, you know, we've got neighborhood cats who are definitely likely used to seeing dogs. Excuse me, it's gonna get loud for a second. And the cat was just staying there. It wasn't moving. So, so we use that as an opportunity to work around this cat. So I create some space, right? I don't stay just on the sidewalk. I create some space, and we're about in the middle of the road at this point. And basically I have my treats on my left-hand side. My dogs were over here on the left-hand side. And I just start doing pass-bys with the cat, you know, so the cat's here on the driveway and we're walking down, up and down the street, right? And I'm just using my leash to guide her eyes away from the cat, right? I'm trying to do a lot of things at once. So yeah, there's the e-collar here, but I was using mostly my leash. Yeah, you know, we just start doing pass-bys. And if she would like look at the dog, that's when I do some like leash pressure stuff. She looks into me, I tell her yes, give her some food. And within just a couple of minutes, she was definitely just not paying attention to the cat, could actually turn around, look at it move, and not do anything. And then, you know, the cat ended up moving away, but we ended up just sitting there for a little bit and, you know, just hanging out for a second and before we moved on, you know. But then I was out of treats at that moment, and then we just left. We walked back up the road some more, but we saw another cat, not so much in her line of sight, but it was definitely off to the side. And you know, Lucy's got a heightened sense for that. And yeah, no reaction there either. Just moved along, you know. And I was like, oh hey, cool, nice. Wasn't expecting that, you know. Like I said, she definitely struggles with cats, and it's not something that comes up for us often to be able to work on that. You know, and I think too, as I was posting that up and just thinking about it, you know, it's like sometimes I think it can be like, I think it can be exhausting trying to work on the things that our dog struggles with, right? Like, always searching out the dogs, you know, and it's like maybe there's not a lot of dogs in your neighborhood, so you always have to like go out places. And you know, if you have the ability to do that, I think that's great, you know. But then I think sometimes we can beat ourselves up if, like, you know, we're not able to work on it as much because it's just like it's hard for us to get out, you know, and take our dog to some place like that, where there's going to be those things that they're going to work on, you know. And I think some things are just going to be more challenging than others, right? I think working on the dog thing could be easier in the fact that, like, there's always dogs places. But, you know, like a thing for a cat, you know, I don't own a cat. I don't know anyone who does own a cat. And, you know, so we only see them on our walks, you know, and even then that's very few and far between. You know, I do know they exist, but it's like I could have every intention of like, hey, I'm going to go out and we're going to work on the cats and not see any cats, right? So I think some things is just, as far as your distractions go and whatnot, it's like you might just have to work on them as they arise. And because of that, it might take longer for you and your dog to work through that problem because you just don't have a lot of access to it, you know? And I think that's just part of it, right? I mean, it's like, this is something that she struggled with for a while because, like I said, we don't have cats to work on, you know, and I'll go months without seeing some, and then all of a sudden we see some, you know? So, yeah, some things are just going to take time, you know? And, I think the best thing you can do is just like, all right, you know, I'm going to just set myself up in case we come across these things. And this way we can work on it when it arises, you know. So yeah, anyway, I just wanted to share a little bit of backstory about the picture and, you know, maybe just give a little bit of insight into how we approached that. Unfortunately, it was so impromptu, I couldn't really film it. Didn't have a little tripod here. Maybe I need to start carrying that around and just like, oh, all right, here's a moment, you know. But yeah, you know, that was definitely how we approached it. And yeah, that was it. All right. So thanks for listening. Hope it was helpful. Bye.